Hey there, toy collector friends and Doctor Who fans alike. Welcome back to the channel. I'm the Triple TC, the time travelling toy collector, and this is another entry into the Doctor Who The Collection range. As some of you will be aware, I'm currently taking us through this range of collectible box sets, limited edition box sets, for Doctor Who The Collection. Now, in the first instance, that's been the classic collection. But there's been so few and far between releases for this collection. What I've decided to do, as some of you will know from the previous videos, is to actually do the first as released or box set for each of the standing classic Doctors that we've had so far. So as in, where possible, the season opener for that Doctor; where not possible, the earliest version of that Doctor's incarnation as released in the range. Beyond this, we do know that season 20 will be released imminently, towards the end of September 2023 at the time of recording. So it is entirely likely, in the scheme of things, that will be the next insert into this collection, because I will pause to put the latest versions in. I'll then be continuing on with the range, which will mean I'm going to start looking at the New Who steelbooks, just so that there's a complete continuum of the top end of the collectible range of Doctor Who Blu-rays. So I'm not doing the various different DVD iterations or standalone things, or standalone steelbooks. I'm just going to do the steelbooks for the main range. So that will probably kick off, given when season 20 is due to be released. We'll probably see the first of the New Who series early in November, probably to correspond with the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who. Once I've gone through the first available season for each available Doctor, stopping only to insert new box sets as they are released, I'll then go back to what appears to be the beginning, and do an infill all of those previously released seasons right through again to the end, up until the point we have new ones introduced. This is also to ensure a degree of variety. Otherwise you could be lumbered, not that it is a chore, but you'd have 7 seasons of Tom Baker, for example, back to back, and I think this way will mix it up a little bit more. So hopefully you approve. If you do and you like the idea, like the video, and whilst you're liking the video, it would be fantastic if you drop a subscription, because I am trying to get to my next milestone, and it really helps me if for free you could subscribe to the videos. That would be fantastic. So without further ado, here we have the latest entry in terms of my collection, which is Doctor Who The Collection Season 24, which sees the arrival of the 7th Doctor. Bit of a let's call it divisive season. Again, I'm not going to review the season itself, but notable for not having a meaningful regeneration series. Luckily, this is something that Big Finish have addressed in the 6th Doctor audio series special, The Last Adventure, which is, if you've not heard it, much recommended by me. But in terms of televisual regenerations, the 6th Doctor bows out and the 7th Doctor arrives rather unceremoniously in a pre-credit sequence in the first story, The Time of the Rani. It also sees the show condensed a little bit in terms of episode count, or it certainly feels that way following what we've had up until this point. And it's a bit of a divergence. We have Sylvester, as we can see on the front Lee binding artwork. We can see him there taking on the mantle of the Doctor and giving us some sort of cosmic hobo vibes, much like the 2nd Doctor, Patrick Troughton, who at the time of recording is the only Doctor in the classic range to have no box sets released yet. So I'm really hoping we see one of those, especially in this 60th anniversary year. I don't know if we will, but it'd be really great if we could, because at least then all of the Doctors from the classic series, and indeed the entirety of the series from 1963 up until 2023, will have got a release. or a limited edition special release, which I think is fitting because, again, for many people, Patrick Troughton is the reason that the show continued for as long as it did. Because if he hadn't made Regeneration work and the transference of the character from one body to the next believable, then we would never have had John Pertwee, Tom Baker, and the rest. So I think we really want to see a second Doctor box set, but I appreciate there are other nuances around that, considering that there are a lot of missing episodes that we may or may not be seeing animated. They may surprise us with some, animations that come in within the box set as exclusive editions. But again, it's a commercial venture, so I'm sure they'll want to also make them available as standalone special releases and so on and so forth. Anyway, again, very, very nice. We are retaining the branding for this. We've got the slipcover, which I'll take off momentarily. Here we have the very informative and very detailed back packaging of the show, of the box set. Again, this is one of the beautiful things with this is the range of lovely artwork we get. You get a lot of additional material. A point that comes up, and I'm still getting it. I'm going to bring it a bit closer. I still get it from folks in comments and messages around, is it worth it? Is it double dipping? Is it triple dipping in some cases? And it's horses for courses, folks. I can't advise you whether or not to buy it. I can only tell you what the quality of the product is. And so far, all of these have been very, very top-notch in terms of quality. You get an awful lot of, a lot of the money is clearly invested in the brand new Blu-ray special features. You also get all of the original DVD special features. So, if you're a purist collector, you're probably going to want this. If you're new to Doctor Who and you're discovering the really eclectic history of Doctor Who, then as an archive collection, this is, a good way to do it. And again, for all of you guys and girls collecting this, it's possibly the only way you can now get all of the classic seasons of Doctor Who with all of this fantastic additional features. Even when they were releasing the Blu-ray the DVD versions of the stories, we weren't getting all of that number of special features, as he knocks the camera, all of those special features that we get with this. So if you're spending around £30-40 on this, it was about between 10 to 15 per DVD slipcase and box. So if you do the maths, it's kind of better value. Plus you get all the extra stuff that's been made especially for this. Plus, of course, which is the reason we're here, you get the fantastic limited edition artwork. So let's take the slipcase off, which is there, just to keep it safe, to keep the edges clear and protected. I'll put that to one side, and then we can really take in the beauty of this box set. And again, the Lee binding artwork is wonderful. We get all of that lovely 7th Doctor quirkiness. We get his extraterrestrial spoons, because of course we do. The cleaner robots, the Tetraps, the Rani there. We've got characters from Dragonfire, Delta and the Bannermen, Paradise Towers. Again, everything is represented here. Now, is it the most packed season of Doctor Who? No, it's not. But it is, if you like, a bit of a watershed moment and a milestone moment in the history of the series. It really genuinely is that. So if that's something that interests you from a historical point of view, then again, it's another big reason to collect this set. As I've shown you already, the side is in keeping with the branding for the rest of the season. We have been told that the branding will continue, and in the spirit of that, you'll see that despite the fact my channel changed branding a little while back, I'm gonna, for the classic elements of this season, I will be remaining with my classic branding, just so that I can be in solidarity with the box sets. On the back, we have the TARDIS being under attack from the Rani prior to it crashing at the start of the season. Spoilers, mild spoilers. But again, a beautiful piece of artwork, and this side reflects the rest of the design. You can see that the roof of my set is slightly crumpled down. It's not really a damage, it's just the way it's come. But there is a little bit of a crease here, which is gutting, but it's minor, and it's also wear and tear because, of course, I have had these out. So let's delve inside and try and get a tipping point so everything stays. So as ever, this side we have all of the beautiful discs with very lovely story related artwork present. This is where they're going to be a nuisance and not let me access them. So there we have the Doctor. There we have Mel upside down because she's in the bubble thing, although to be honest I think that's just me making an excuse for the fact it's upside down. The chief caretaker and the Doctor there from Paradise Towers. Yeah, there's Mel getting in trouble with the Rezzies. There's an awful, they're all there. There's some very nice stills and artwork on all of the included discs. Very nice too, with a very nice theme cutting through it as well. The purple theme, the motif of the season. This was obviously also an opportunity to change the title sequence, and it's I think one of my favourite title sequences and iterations of the soundtrack from the classic period. And if I could have got it as a single, which I did with the other themes at the time, I would have done, but for some reason I didn't, so I don't know what happened there. Anyway, over here on this side we have also the standard sort of practice of having a lovely piece of TARDIS related artwork with the key characters, where we have the Doctor and Mel, with that Velcro flap forming the section with the doors. So let's do the usual wonderful thing and open the doors to reveal again that lovely artwork of Mel, the seventh Doctor, complete now with his umbrella. And there's Ace just behind my hand there. There's Ace, who makes an appearance in the final story. We can open these flaps up to reveal, we don't need these, to reveal the booklet. So we'll have a look at this first. So again, lovely artwork, and it's going to be throughout. Behind the scenes photos, lots of text, lots of informative text. And again, this is a, let's see how many pages it is. This is a 28-page booklet full of information about the episodes, about the season, behind the scenes information, casting information, some of the lovely photographs of poor Kate O'Mara being having to dress up like Bonnie Langford, bless. It's literally packed again with some beautiful artwork. There's so much crammed into this that again, you think about what you get in several of your standard releases. This booklet, you know, some people pay weekly or monthly collectible prices to get the sort of information about a series that you're getting in this booklet. So from a value for money point of view, I am afraid I'm going to always say that I actually do think that this product is good value for money. I really do, and I'm committed to that belief. I know that they're expensive, and I know the most recent one is the most expensive, but I think it's also one of the biggest sets. It's the 20th anniversary set, so it does include a lot more, or at least I'm reading that it includes an awful lot of additional features. So there's a lot in that set, so you're paying a little bit more. But again, if you think about 10 quid, 10, 15 quid per story, not including the special features, I think you soon see what the value is really like of that. So again, over here we have the interior of the Doctor's TARDIS, and this is really beautiful. I'm going to try and squidge it over a bit more to get it more in shot without knocking anything over. But here we have the sort of traditional console as introduced in the 5 Doctors. We have the monitor screen on in the background, and we can see Mel collapsed there at the front. And there's a really nice touch here. There's the 6th Doctor collapsed there on the floor following his nasty tumble, and whatever it may be that's led him to this situation, depending which version of events you choose to explore. And you can see here that he's starting to glow, and it's the glow of the new series regeneration energy, which I thought was a nice touch, sort of retro introduced to this artwork, but not so much that it takes away from the effect that you'll see. Oops, I knew that was going to happen. Apologies. When you see him regenerate in that first story. So again, it's packed full of special features. It's packed full of lovely artwork. I think aesthetically it is absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to pack everything away, so it's because a tidy workspace is a happy workspace, as I try relentlessly to convince myself. But I think, you know, we've seen it many times in others of these. The level of care, the level of love shown for the series, and everything the series stands for. I think it's beautiful, and I think I'm really grateful to the BBC, which is not necessarily a statement. I do say that often, but I'm really grateful to the BBC for taking this collection seriously. And also to Russell T Davies, who's coming back as the showrunner, as most of you will know, for a foreseeable run within the new Who, who's confirmed that the packaging, as mentioned earlier, will stay the same, because he appreciates that classic Doctor Who collectors and aficionados and fans and however you might class yourself, if there's one thing they like, it's continuity in a discontinuous universe, and we've not had that. We've not had continuity in the VHS cassettes. Those of you who know what VHS cassettes are, thank you if you do remember. That's worth a like in and of itself, of the video. So if you had those, even they didn't line up on a shelf. Then the DVDs came out and they weren't continuous in terms of the layout of the spines. I mean, it's been a minefield, but this so far, in its limited edition form, certainly is living up to the hype. I also know that there's the standard edition, so if these are proving hard to get or a little bit too expensive on the secondary market, they may still be available on the primary market, but certainly the secondary market, then it's worth looking for the standard edition Blu-ray collection if you're just after the content and are not so fussed about the sort of cardboard, robust cardboard variation that you get here as part of the limited edition range. I have to say, I think it's lovely. I think the attention to detail, the feel of it, it just screams quality, and it screams we love you about the series, which sounds a bit cliche and a bit twee and probably a little bit cringeworthy. And so on one hand, apologies for sounding like that, but equally I'm unapologetic in my appreciation of the fact that they're investing in it like this, because I think it's about time, no pun intended, but I think it's about time that this series got the love and attention it deserved, and that the classic era was curated with the love and attention it deserved, particularly if it then can stack up against what New Who can deliver. And there are some fantastic stories, and it touches on all sorts of social commentary, social politics, sexual politics, racial equality, you know, everything that sometimes New Who is accused of sort of ramming down your throat, and you know, sometimes it's more subtle than others. Doctor Who addresses it. Science fiction addresses it. I think that's one of the things that within science fiction genres, whether it's cartoons or live action stuff or model stuff or puppet shows like Jerry Anderson's creations, or hybrid puppet shows like some of Jerry Anderson's stuff, you know, I think it enables us to really examine the world we live in, looking at other worlds, which enables us to sort of have a hands-off approach to putting some judgment on, well, they shouldn't really treat those creatures, that race, those robots, you know, that way, shocking. And then we can reflect, well, actually, do we as a society or as a race or as a, you know, do similar in our worlds? And sadly, sometimes the answer is yes. But if it lets us reflect on that and we can change for the better as a result, I'm here for that. And there's very few series as pioneering in doing that as Doctor Who, going back to 1963, don't know what year I'm in now, 1963, right up to the present day, with a couple of glitches along the way. But, you know, that's impressive. They're doing something right to have lasted that long. Anyway, I'm not going to wax lyrical any longer. Thank you very much for spending the last 20 or so minutes with me. As I said, Please do like the video. If you've been watching this and you're not already subscribed, do please click that subscribe button. It'll help push me towards my next milestone, which would be absolutely fantastic, and at no cost to yourself. And that way you'll never miss a future video, which could be about Doctor Who, or it could be about Doctor Who merchandise or toys. It could be Transformers, Batman, Space 1999, Star Wars, Star Trek, G.I. Joe. I mean, there's just so many things that it could be about. You just never know what's coming next. Anyway, take care. Thank you for staying with me. I know there's a million and one things you could be doing that's far more important to you than spending time doing this. So I'm very grateful that you invested your time. I look forward to seeing you in a future video. It just remains for me to say that a thing of beauty really can be a toy forever. Bye-bye for now.